there are 4 steps to be able to raise your level of consciousness to be able to get to the things that you want to get to. What is manifestation? What is the law of attraction? You may have heard all these things and still kind of wondering why it works or why it doesn't work. And I'll tell you exactly why it works. Because realistically, manifestation, the law of attraction, all of the above only really has to do with one thing and one thing only, and that's your level of consciousness. Now, what ends up happening once you hit certain levels of consciousness, either on the way up or either on the way down, then you get what corresponds on that particular level of consciousness, or I like to say it's like a radio station. Remember the old school radio stations that might be in the car, or if you want to listen to, if I'm in Georgia, if I want to listen to hip hop radio, I'll listen to 107.9. Or if I want to listen to R&B, I'll listen to 104.1, or country would be 96 rock. Here's the thing, but if I want to listen to country and I'm on 104.1, well, I'm not going to get that particular music because I'm on the wrong frequency or I'm on the wrong level of consciousness. So the thing is, if life seems to be giving you things that you want, that means you're on a specific level of consciousness where that thing resides. But if you feel like life is giving you the things that you don't want, well, unfortunately, you're on the level of consciousness to where that thing resides. So what we want and what we don't want are all based upon levels of consciousness. This is why the law of attraction works. This is what manifestation and materialization is all about. It's all about the corresponding levels of consciousness. So, the next question should be, and I'm sure that you asked this, well, if I want something that's up here, how do I get from here, from this level of consciousness, how do I get from there to here? Let's say if it's $1 million, let's say if it's a beautiful relationship, let's say it's just a wonderful trip. There's a certain level of consciousness that is on that. There's a certain level of consciousness that you have to get to, or a certain frequency, or a certain vibration. They all mean the same stuff. So guess what? There are 4 steps to be able to raise your level of consciousness to be able to get to the things that you want to get to. But here's the problem with these 4 steps. Most of us do these 4 steps in the negative automatically. So, what are the 4 steps? I got my trusty pen right here. We're gonna go over the 4 steps, and realistically, number 4 is my favorite. But we're gonna talk about the first one. Now, the first step in raising your consciousness or raising your vibration is meditation. Okay, so meditation is the very first step. I'm gonna tell you there's 4 steps. So meditation, a lot of people, when they think of somebody meditating, they think of somebody just sitting under the tree and sitting and saying, Mahandai Sanata, right? Like, that's not, okay, that's a form of meditation. That's the practice of meditation, but that's not what meditation really means. Meditation comes from a Greek word, meditare. All it means is to focus your thoughts. To focus your thoughts. That's what meditation is. It means to focus your thoughts. Now, but the thing is though, all of us are always focusing our thoughts on something. Most of us don't do it by choice, or we don't meditate by choice. We meditate just by happenstance. And the first way to raise your vibrations, or to raise your frequency, or to raise your level of consciousness is to be a purposeful, positive meditator. That's the thing. I'm gonna say that again. A purposeful, positive meditator. Again, you have to start focusing your thoughts on what's right instead of what's wrong. Most of us focus our thoughts on what's wrong. It's like this. You ever try to buy something on Amazon or buy something online, and it might have 1,000 5-star reviews, but which review do you really focus on? It could say, oh, this is great. This is the best thing since sliced bread. But then there's that one review that says, this is the worst trash I've ever used. This is the worst product. What happens is our minds automatically They focus or they meditate on the negative. I don't know why that happens, but that's just how the human species does. But the ones who actually really get stuff out of life, you know what they do? They meditate on the positive. They focus their thoughts, a purposeful, positive meditation on the positive every single day as often as they can. Because what happens is when life starts throwing us issues and we start seeing things that we don't like, what we end up doing is we start meditating on those things that we don't like. We focus our thoughts on those things that we don't like. And because we're focusing our thoughts on those things that we don't like, we're meditating on those things that we don't like. And guess what ends up happening to our level of consciousness? It goes down further to the areas of where we don't like. Remember, what we want and what we don't want, they're all on certain corresponding levels of consciousness. And this is what I want you to get. So the first thing that you have to start doing is meditating on the positive. The second thing that you have to start doing start making positive affirmations. Now, I know that we've all heard, especially if you've been in the manifestation and the law of attraction type circles, that you heard of making positive affirmations. And some people say, oh, they work great. Some people say, oh, they don't work at all. But then what's the truth? I'll tell you exactly what the truth is. See, when we negatively meditate in terms of when life or the situations seem to be coming up that aren't to our liking and we focus our thoughts or we meditate on those things, we're doing a negative meditation. But then we try to tell people to make positive affirmations so they feel like lies. That's one of the problems with affirmations. That's one of the reasons why they don't work a lot of times, because we have this negative meditation and try to have a positive affirmation, and guess what? They cancel each other out. It ain't gonna work. So we can have this negative meditation that's making our consciousness go down, but these positive affirmations that's making it slightly go up. But realistically, they don't slightly go up because they feel like lies. Why do they feel like lies? Because we've had this negative meditation. So when a lie, guess what a lie is? Guess what a lie is? A lie is a consciousness reducing tool. So therefore, when we have these negative meditations and these positive affirmations, man, it doesn't really move the needle. They cancel each other out. But when we can have a positive meditation and then have a positive affirmation, and affirmations aren't just words spoken, like saying I am rich, I am wealthy. I do those things in the mirror every single day. But affirmations are also things. Listen to this. The word affirmation, it just means to what? To make firm. Just to make something firm, to make something concrete. So when we have these affirmations, like if I say I am rich, I am wealthy, well, I've been meditating on I am rich, I am wealthy. So therefore my consciousness goes up. But also, do you know what else is another affirmation? See, affirmations aren't just your words, they're words also spoken to you. I believe that anybody could become a millionaire by having a proper set of headphones. Headphones. If you can listen on a daily basis to things talking about riches and wealth and success and all these things, well, those are affirmations. Because listen, it's making something firm. But what does it need to make firm? It needs to make a positive meditation firm in your mind. So even words spoken to you in the form of audio, in the form of YouTube, like you're listening to right now, it works. It helps make something firm in your life. So here's the thing. Affirmations are not only words that you speak, but also words that are spoken to you. And the reason why affirmations are so important, and the reason why it's so important for you to speak your words, is because every word spoken by you is also spoken to you. Remember that. Every word spoken by you is also spoken to you. So those affirmations that you make, they make something firm. And they're supposed to make what you've been positively meditating on firm. That's the third step. Now, that's the second step, excuse me. The third step is my favorite. Visualization. Now, what is visualization? Visualization is just making a mental movie of what you've been meditating and affirming. It's just a mental movie. So if I've been, let's say I want to make $3,410,555 this year. Okay. So I'm gonna meditate on that number. Okay, like I'm gonna meditate on, focus my thoughts on that number. I'm gonna focus my thoughts on, that can come easily. That can come without me doing a whole lot extra. That can come from so many different various sources. So I'm focusing my thoughts on the positive aspect of that $3,410,555. Then I'm affirming. I'm saying, hey, I have $3,410,555. Like I have it. I see it. It came to me so easily. I'm so thankful for it. I'm so happy and grateful that I have it. So what am I using? I'm using the affirmations that make firm that meditation. But here's the secret sauce of life, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, it's visualization. So now I get to make a mental movie of something, of me doing something that represents these two things. So when I have $3,410,555, one of the things that I'm going to get is a Lamborghini SVJ Roadster in balloon white with a license plate on the back that says easy on it with 3 E's. Why? Because life is easy, baby. That's my thing. So when I do that, so when I make this mental movie, like I have a mental movie of that Lamborghini being delivered to my house. I have a mental movie of me and my kids, one at a time, going to Andy's ice cream shop in Alpharetta, Georgia, to get ice cream in the Lamborghini SVJ Roadster. And one of my kids gets caramel ice cream, and the other one gets strawberry ice cream. And we have this great time because what? That's a mental movie based upon what I've been meditating and affirming. Here's one of the secret things about your visualizations. They should always be enjoyable. It should always be naturally enjoyable. Never, and also with your visualization, never visualize in discount. What I mean is that the mind, right, the visual mind, and here's the thing that, believe it or not, there's been studies that say that visualization or doing mental imagery is 50% as effective as doing the real thing. So they studied a bunch of basketball players, and they had 3 groups. And so they had one set of basketball players shoot 100 free throws a day. They had another set of basketball players shoot no free throws a day. And then they had another set of basketball players visualizing themselves making 100 free throws a day and doing nothing else. So obviously the ones who actually practiced with their hands, well, they had some very good results. The one that didn't practice at all got no results, actually got worse. But the ones that visualized got almost similar results to the ones that actually physically shot the shots. So what ends up happening is the beauty of the mind is that we can do things, we can visualize things in a perfect way. Remember I told you they had to visualize themselves making 100 free throws, not just shooting 100 free throws. We don't visualize in discount, we visualize in full price, baby. And that's what I want for you. So when I visualize me having something, I visualize me having a Lamborghini SVJ Roadster in balloon white with a license plate that says easy on the back of it with 3 E's. Like I'm very, very detailed in my visualizations because once you start visualizing and seeing things in full price, in full detail, well, that all that meditation and affirmations and visualization, do you know what all this does? All it does is raise your level of consciousness. But here's the ultimate. The ultimate thing is the ultimate frequency or consciousness or vibration increasing thing is my favorite one. Fun. Everything you do, everything you visualize, everything you meditate, affirm, and visualize on should be fun. Everything great that I've ever gotten in my life, like everything great, has been in some way, some shape, wrapped around fun. I'll tell you some stories. So I played the NFL for 8 years. I played for the Detroit Lions for most of my career. But my last year, my 8th year in the NFL, I was cut from the team. In January, this is what I told one of my friends. I said, this is exactly what's going to happen. I said, I'm going to get signed by another team. I'm going to get cut by that team the second week of the season. And then I'm going to get signed by the Detroit Lions, and we're going to play out in London. because I wanted to play in London so bad. Like it was just like my dream to play an NFL game in London, to send all my family across the water to London. It was my dream. It was so much fun, that thought of it. So what ended up happening? Got signed to the Buffalo Bills. 2 days before training camp started, I was ready. And I played okay with Buffalo. I played pretty good during the preseason, but not good enough to make the team, or so I thought. So, last cut down day in the NFL. It's called D-Day. And it's when they cut the roster from 90 to 53 people. So they had to cut a lot of people. Well, I was one of the cuts. So they sent me home. But then the next day, I got a call from my agent. My agent says, Flu, he calls me Flu. My name is Andre Fluella. He says, Flu, I have never seen this in my life. But the Bills said they made a mistake and they want you back. Can you be on a plane in 2 hours? And I said, oh my God, yes. Okay, so I get on a plane. I go back to Buffalo. I sign the contract. Listen to this. 4 days later, they cut me from the team again. But the only reason they did it is because a guy got suspended, so they had to cut somebody to sign another person. They said, look, we're going to sign you back in 12 hours, but we just got to do this. And I was like, okay, please don't mess around on me. So they signed me back in 12 hours. I played 2 weeks with Buffalo, and then they cut me from the team again. Now, the cool thing in the NFL is once you're a veteran, if you are on the team the first week of the season, you get paid for the whole year. So I was like, okay, well, y'all cut me now. I got paid for the whole year. But then, a week later, a guy with the Lions gets hurt. My wife starts packing my bags. It's the middle of the night. I was like, what are you doing? She was like, you know the Lions are going to call you back. Let me go ahead and just start packing for you. I was like, girl, they're not going to call me back. And literally, as she was packing, I get a text from the general manager. Flu, you got a flight at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I was like, oh my God, yeah, I'll be ready. And then he says this. He says, do you have your passport? Because we're playing in London in 2 weeks. Happened just like that. We play in London. I get hurt. That was my last NFL game I have ever played, was out in London. Now, why did that happen? So let's talk about something, because we need to understand, like, why did that manifest? Why did that materialize? Or why did the law of attraction work right then? I'll tell you exactly why. It's because, listen, I told my friend, see, I was meditating on that it would work. I was making affirmations. I told him, I said it, what was going to happen. I visualized myself playing in London. But the most important aspect of all of this was that it was fun. It was a fun dream. It was something I wanted to do so bad. And that's why that happened. It's because I wrapped all this with fun. And so what ends up happening, and so what happens with all this is that this made my consciousness go this way, this way, this way, and this one right here. Oh, it put like steroids on the level of consciousness, because fun is a very high frequency, high vibration level of consciousness. So everything you do with which you want to do, be, have, and see in life should be wrapped around fun. And I'll give you a bonus. The reason that all this works, and the reason that all this consciousness and vibration works, because it induces another F. It induces a feeling. And if you ever get anything, you need to get this. That in life, what you feel is what you get. If you can somehow, some way, through meditation, affirmation, visualization, and fun, if you can, even if it looks like the material world is against you, if you can raise your level of vibrations, if you can get the feeling that you already have exactly what you are trying to get. I know that sounds like a paradox, but can you already have in the internal state, in the reality of your mind, before it materializes? See, there's a difference. Reality is here. Materiality is out here, what you can touch. So if you can get it in reality, if you can get the feeling of already having the Lamborghini SVJ Roadster in balloon white, if you can get the feeling of already being in London playing football with your best friends for a week, if you can get the feeling of having all that, then I promise you, all that you want, all the consciousness is really the level of feeling that you have on a consistent basis. So all of this stuff, meditation, affirmation, visualization, and fun, at the end of the day, it's just trying to condition a feeling, because feeling equals frequency and feeling gets the blessing. Anyway, so that's it for today. That's how you can change your life, changing your vibrations. This is how the law of attraction works. This is how manifestation works. It's not so much about trying to get something on that level. And please understand, we're not trying to get anything. The things are already there on that level. It's we're just trying to condition our own minds and condition our own feelings to be on that level. And what's on that level is for us. But the problem is, the negative is also true. When we have these negative meditation, negative affirmations, and we have this negative visualization, and we know we've had things happen where we can see the worst outcome even though it hadn't happened. And what does it do? It conditions a feeling. And that feeling, man, brings our consciousness down. And however we feel on that level, that's what we get. So, the moral of the story is, raise your frequency. Raise your vibrations, raise your level of consciousness, and you don't have to try to get anything. It is already there. That's what the law of attraction is all about. Remember to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon, and always leave a comment of something that you liked or something that you didn't like about this video. And I promise I love reading all you guys' comments. Peace.